Europa se confruntă cu o criză a carburanților. Prețurile au crescut îngrijorător, iar Comisarul European pentru Transport avertizează într-un interviu în exclusivitate pentru Euronews că există riscul penuriei de combustibil dacă războiul din Orientul Mijlociu nu se va încheia curând. Comisia recomandă statelor membre să nu ia măsuri care ar putea duce la creșterea consumului de carburanți, ci unele coordonate la nivelul blocului comunitar. Apostolos Tsitzikostas susține că soluția pentru un transport feroviar modern este parteneriatul public-privat. În plus, europenii vor putea rezerva în doar câteva luni bilete de tren pe aceeași platformă.
I would like to start with the effects of the Middle East war. Fuel prices have increased in Europe. What unitary measures are being taken into account at the European level? And also, should people reduce their travel because it's already a recommendation?
The recommendation for reduced traveling has to do with the affected regions, with the regions where we have the crisis escalating. And indeed, the airspace of most of the countries that are involved are closed. We have about 60% fewer flights, and the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, with about 300 vessels of EU flag or EU interest being stranded there. But the question here is not only about the prices, because yes, and this is a very big problem, the prices are rising on a daily basis. However, the problem will be much bigger if this conflict doesn't end soon, because we will even have shortage of fuels, and for example, jet fuels will be the first one, the first ones to have supply problems. And if this happens, you realize how this would abrupt the supply chains even further, because we have already an abruption of supply chains through the sea. If suddenly there is not enough jet fuels, this would create immense problems in the economy, not only of the East, which is fully dependent from the Gulf, but also from the West, because the effects are starting mostly to the east, but they are expanding towards the west now.
Is there a risk of a crisis in the aviation industry? Will airline tickets become more expensive?
Yes, the airline tickets are becoming more expensive day by day because the jet fuels are becoming more expensive. But the problem will be even worse if we reach a point where the airlines cannot anymore find jet fuel. So if we get to a point where the supply of jet fuel is no longer available, then the problems for our economy is going to be much, much bigger.
You have discussed here in Bucharest with our president, Nicușor Dan. You also have had discussions with our prime minister, Ilie Bolojan, about the measure on the fuel market. Do you think they are sufficient? What are the conclusions of these meetings?
I had very fruitful meetings with the president of Romania, the prime minister, and ministers, the minister of transport infrastructure and the minister of the economy. And we discussed about the major projects here in Romania, about how Romania can tackle the challenges it has in order to be able to advance the infrastructure projects and deliver the most important ones. I'm referring to the vertical corridor, rail and road corridor that will connect Greece to Bulgaria and Romania, and from there to Moldova and Ukraine. A very important corridor that will basically link the Aegean Sea to the Black Sea. A strategic corridor not only for our competitiveness and our economy, European economy, but also for our defense and security. So we discussed about this corridor and how we should proceed in order to make sure that we keep the timelines and we respect the targets that are set, as well as other very important public projects here in Romania concerning the Constanța port and the connectivity between areas within the country.
I would like to talk a little about the railway in our country. The average speed of passenger train is 40 kilometers per hour, and some trains are 60 years old. What do you think Romania needs to do in the next 3 or 4 years to make rail transport relevant again, something that people want to use?
Complete the very important infrastructure projects, rail projects. That's what Romania has to do. The funding is here. We are funding a very important project now. I visited this project yesterday with the minister, and I saw the progress of the work that's being done on the ground. It's impressive, but we need to be more focused on the projects. We need to have very, very good technical readiness before a project starts, and of course to involve companies, the private sector. In my view, the PPPs are the best model and concessions as well for public projects, infrastructure projects, especially in the case of Romania that has other challenges as well in its finances. But the European Union is here. We have accommodated approximately 2 billion euros to Romania through the European funds in order to complete these projects. And we will continue in the years to come to support Romania in this endeavor. But we need also from the side of Romania something that I'm confident will happen from now on, a dedication and a closer cooperation in order to make sure that these infrastructure projects are on time.
The numbers show that we are at the bottom of the EU in attracting investment in railway infrastructure. Is there any way the EU can push or help member states to adopt some kind of accelerated investment schedule?
What we can do and we will do, we discussed that with the President, the Prime Minister and the Ministers, is that we will provide technical assistance to Romania in order for Romania to be able to move faster when it comes to infrastructure projects.
Is Romania missing the train?
No.
No?
No one is missing the train. Some trains are faster, some trains are slower, but we are here to make all trains go quickly.
We are
and
slower.
Fastly, and safely.
Safely? Okay. Europeans could book their train tickets on a single platform. At what stage is this project, and also when could it be implemented?
It's happening very soon. We will be announcing in a couple of months the single and ticketing regulation. It will open the market, and the customers, the travelers will be able with one click from their phone or their computer, just like they do today with airlines, to book and buy a ticket which is cross-border and cross-company and cross-mode of transport, and at the same time to be confident that they have their passenger rights for this specific leg of their trip. So yes, it is coming, and it is going to change the way people use trains in Europe.
And the last question, we have beautiful places here in Romania. What should we do to attract foreign tourists?
I think it is very important to realize that Romania is not only a beautiful country, not only a country with great heritage and rich history, but it is also a country with fantastic people, very hospitable, open, and in my view, Romania should invest more in presenting the case of Romania to the outside world. And of course, your history, your characteristics, your culture is so important that I believe that Romania can be really one of the top touristic destinations in the future. What you need to do, in my view, is to complete all the transport, the important transport infrastructure projects, because they are directly linked to tourism, and at the same time to promote this destination even more. And I will be happy to see Romania becoming also one country that creates an independent ministry for tourism. It is something that is happening more and more every year in the EU countries. We started with only 2-3 countries with ministries of tourism. Now half of the European countries have an independent ministry for tourism, which is very important because it gets the funding that is needed in order to promote and have a strategy for the promotion of the destination.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.